What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Going for Two. I am Q1 Humphreys, and this is day 13. Day 13 of Going for 25 Days of Christmas, where I'm uploading every single day with hopes of growing this channel. We have goals, but I cannot reach those goals without the help of you guys watching this video. So please, please, please hit the subscribe button, like, share with your folks, leave your comments down below. Let's get right into it. Okay, I'm talking about the Atlanta Hawks today. Atlanta Hawks last night faced off against the Detroit Pistons. Number 1 seed Detroit Pistons and lost 142-115. Jalen Johnson had himself another good game. Nikhil Walker had himself a good game. But what I see with the Hawks, y'all, is that we're missing something big. We're missing something big. And I've been saying this. I've been advocating for this on TikTok. Y'all can follow me on TikTok at Goin for 2 Queasy. I will have it in the description. But I am a person that believes that the Hawks need Trae Young back. And we got good news today for those of you that want Trae Young. For those of you that don't want Trae Young, too bad. But Trae Young is returning to practice this week, so there is a good chance that we may see Trae Young in the next coming weeks. I think they will let him practice for a week and then have him back on the court next week off of a sprained MCL. He's missed like 6 weeks with the injury. So, I think this is big for the Hawks. I think this is big for the Hawks because of the simple fact, like, you watch the Hawks, we look good. We look better than you would expect us to be without Trae Young. Defensively, of course, you know, everyone was talking about defense. Our defense looked good for a moment, but we've kind of fallen back to being who we are, who we've been on the defensive end. As you can see with the game last night and other games against good teams where we just cannot stop a nosebleed. But the real issue that I see with the Hawks right now is we don't have any half-court scoring, y'all. Now, we're great in transition. We're number 1 in the NBA in terms of scoring in transition. So we're really good there. But when the game slows down at the end of games or when we're playing against a good defense that gets back and hustles back off their missed shots and off of turnovers, it is tough for us to score. And we saw that last night. We finished 115, but for a minute, y'all, we were stuck at around 50 to 60 points in that third quarter. And I think about the game against the Nuggets last Friday where we go into the half up by double digits, and then that whole third quarter, we just lose the lead. And the start of the fourth quarter, they go on a major run and just jump out on us. The Atlanta Hawks right now are relying heavily on Nikhil Walker and Jalen Johnson in terms of their offensive production in the half court. Now, don't get me wrong. Them guys have been absolutely balling. But Jalen Johnson is better when he's up and down, running and pushing the floor. He's a great playmaker. I say he's a great playmaker, but I think he's not really a dissect those set defenses. That's not the kind of guy he is. He's kind of a guy that, you know, he's driving, he can get downhill, and then when the help comes, he either just a drop off or throws a skips to the corner or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Nikhil Walker has been way more of a scorer, and he's actually having his best season, he's having the best season of his career. This is the first time he's averaged over double digits since the 2021-2022 season with Utah Jazz, and he's averaged over 20 points right now. So I'm loving what those two guys are doing. But I'm saying in terms of sustainability, and as we've seen over these last couple of games, we won, 7, 8 straight games in a row, and ever since then we've been losing more than we've been winning. So now we have a 14-12 record, and we currently sit at 9 in the Eastern or 8 in the East, or maybe 9 in the Eastern Conference. I look at the different guys. And I say, okay, who would be diminished by Trae Young being back? Who? And I really can't think of no one that would seriously play worse with Trae Young. I know everyone talks about Jalen Johnson and how Jalen Johnson should be the number 1 guy, and I agree with y'all. I believe Jalen Johnson should be the top scorer, should be the top option. But even Jalen Johnson needs a point guard, and we have one of the best point guards in the NBA in terms of creating shots for himself and creating shots for others. This is a guy that's led the league in points either scored or assisted on for the last 2 seasons. I look at Jalen Johnson. Shout out crashing the glass, cleaning the glass. It might be cleaning the glass. It is a sports, it is NBA stats hub, y'all. I mean, it's everything you want if you are a basketball fan that just loves the ins and out of the stats. They have a stat here, and I may put it on the screen. It shows the amount of baskets you score amount of your baskets that you score that are off of assists. Jalen Johnson was 64% last year and then 60% this year. So that shows me that Jalen Johnson is still scoring, for the most part, the same way, off of a pass. He's not isolating and getting it on his own. He's scoring it off of cuts, scoring it off of different actions, different motions. The big difference with Jalen Johnson this year versus last year is that he's shooting way better from the 3-point line. You take anybody that was scoring 20 points per game last season and you give them a 10% higher 3-point percentage, they're going to score way more points than they did. And that's what I'm seeing from Jalen Johnson. So I don't see Trae Young taking away from Jalen Johnson. If anything, I think Trae Young would elevate Jalen Johnson in terms of a score, because now it's attention that's going to be taken off of Jalen Johnson, put on to Trae Young. So Jalen Johnson is, like I said, he's a great playmaker, but I think he'd be better as a secondary playmaker, a guy that's not necessarily the point guard, but a guy that can create on his own. Like Jalen Johnson get a rebound, bet, we out, push. We don't got to find Trae, you go and kill. You know what I'm saying? Or we can run actions where Trae is off the ball and let Jalen Johnson be the play initiator because he's that good with the basketball. But a full game of just giving the ball to Jalen Johnson and just letting him cook, you know, I think a full game of that is not sustainable to win games. And we're seeing his crazy numbers now. But like I said, y'all, we're not winning the games that we were when we were on the West Coast trip playing against the teams that are not that good. You know what I'm saying? So I think Jalen Johnson is going to be just fine. You look at last season, Jalen Johnson averaged 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists with Trae Young in 34 games with Trae Young. I believe everyone that says that Jalen Johnson blew up because of Trae Young just has not been watching Hawks basketball, because everyone that watched the Hawks last year, the year before that, knew that Jalen Johnson's evolution, his development, and his breakout season was going to come regardless, because we saw how good he was last year before he got injured. Alexander Walker, I love the fact that he's taking on a role as the really main perimeter scoring threat, and that's great. But I think that is a guy that you may not want with Trae Young all the time on the court, because Dyson Daniels is probably the better in terms of compatibility with Trae Young as far as him being just a straight lockdown defender. But Alexander Walker, you move into the second unit. The second unit, who really does not have much scoring on there, Alexander Walker can keep doing what he's doing now with them. And he's still moving. He's still hooping and grooving. Now, this is a guy that was on the bench last year with the Minnesota Timberwolves and would have his games where he would come out and go crazy. But now, since he has that green light, since he has that confidence, he has the rhythm now with the Hawks, I believe he could really be one of the top guys on the second unit in the NBA. He could be in the running for 6 minutes a year if he ends up playing enough games on the bench. I don't know how the criteria for that is, but I think Alexander Walker moving to the second unit, playing the same way he's playing now, is still gonna be fine. I think a lot of guys on the Hawks, scoring wise, need Trae Young. I think about Zachary Reese, our number 1 pick. I think about Double O. Double O's had a great year so far. I don't think he needs Trae Young because he's been playing good without him, but he would be a beneficiary to having Trae Young back in the lineup. You got Mo Gay, Dyson Daniels, of course. All these guys that kind of feast off of getting buckets kind of spoon-fed to them. You know what I'm saying? That is what they need. They need a point guard. And luckily for us, we have, like I said, one of the best point guards in terms of creating looks for others in the NBA. Double O has increased his 3-point volume. He's taking like 5 threes a game this year. Crazy. It's crazy that he's doing that, but it's great, y'all. That's going to work. Dyson Daniels, this is a guy that 100% of the 3-point attempts come off of a pass, come off of an assist. Same thing with Zachary Richardson. These guys are not creators. These are guys that need somebody to set them up, and bringing back Trae Young would do nothing but help that. So clearing the glass also shows me that Dyson Daniels, Zachary Richardson, Onyeka Okongwu, all these guys get all their 3-point attempts off of assists. And with Trae Young, those looks going to be more open, and they're still going to be ready and available. The only thing I have with Trae Young, the only issue I got with Trae Young, this is how this whole thing would work. Trae Young has got to come back and he's got to fit in. The guys can't force the guys to fit around him. He's got to come back and fit in. If Trae Young can come out there and give me, I know this gonna sound off for Trae Young, but if you go out there and give me 17 points a game with 12 plus assists, that's all we need. I just think we just need a floor general. And if Trae Young can come out here and be that, understand that you have all these guys out here, even though Porzingis misses way more games than he plays. But that's not the weapon for Trae Young to use. Trae Young is not the weapon anymore. He's the guy holding the weapon. And that's what we need him to be for this Hawks offense. In terms of defense, y'all, I said it on my TikTok. I said the Hawks on defense were never really that good. Even in the run, even in the wins on the West Coast trip. The Hawks were still giving up a bunch of points. And if they weren't getting a bunch of points, it's because the other teams were missing very, very open shots. A lot of them. So when we play against these good teams that can score, they're putting up a lot of points on us, y'all. The Pistons scored 142 last night. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm excited to have Trae Young back. Put in the comment section y'all thoughts of having our point guard back. If not, of course, let me know what y'all think we should do with him. Because if y'all want him back, y'all must want to trade him. Everybody want to trade Trae Young, and I don't. I'm still rocking with my PG. But till next time, going for two. We out of here. Yeah.